My name is Henry. At 2:03 a.m. on a Friday, I was awake, staring at the ceiling and rehearsing a presentation I already knew my boss would tear apart. My phone lit up. Something came up at work. Relax. I'll explain, Sue. Clara, my wife of 8 years, doesn't make typos. She proofreads grocery lists. Seeing Sue told me everything her words didn't. I typed back, "No need to explain. Stay with your boss. You're single now. Send." The phone exploded with calls and texts. I flipped it face down and listened to the buzz rattle across the nightstand. Relief arrived before anger. For months, I'd ignored the late work nights, the new clothes, the phone she guarded like state secrets. I wasn't surprised. I was done. 22 minutes later, tires in the driveway, pounding on the door, doorbell in a panic loop. I brushed my teeth, pulled on a t-shirt, and took my time. When I cracked the door, Clara stood there with smeared lipstick, ruined mascara, expensive perfume hanging in the cold air. "Please, Henry, I can explain." "Explain why a furniture sales job needs 2 a.m. emergencies?" "Why, Sue? It's not what you think." There was a deadline. At 2 in the morning? For office chairs? Lights came on across the street. Curtains moved. Our neighbors were awake. "Let's talk inside," she whispered, noticing the audience. "I'm fine right here," I said, leaning on the frame. "Go ahead." Her stories stacked. Sick wife, then sick dog. I reminded her Richard was divorced and that her travel time didn't match her arrival. The lies collapsed under their own weight. The tears came, the full hiccuping kind. I asked one question. "Who is it?" Silence. Then barely audible. "Someone." "The boss?" She froze. That was my confirmation. I walked to the kitchen and made coffee. She followed on heels she'd bought on sale. I poured, called my divorce attorney from the log of recent calls, and told her we were meeting at 9. Clara stared like I'd stepped off script. "You called a lawyer before talking to me?" "I called a lawyer because you did this before talking to me." She begged to work it out. I'd already considered that option for weeks while she layered lies. I told her to pack a bag. She cried harder. At 5 a.m., my phone rang again. Her mother, Margaret. "Henry, what is going on?" "Did she mention the affair with her boss?" Silence. Then a different voice from Margaret. "Clara, is this true?" From the kitchen. It was a mistake. I put the call on speaker. Margaret didn't defend her. "There's no excuse," she said. "Henry, I'm sorry." "Clara, pack a bag and go to your sister's. Now." By sunrise, our lawn was a family meeting. Margaret was firm. Robert, Clara's father, looked tired. Her sister Lydia was blunt. Her husband Mark kept his humor on a short leash. Even Uncle Ray, 3 divorces and a pocket full of advice, showed up, ready to lecture. He didn't get far. "Marriage takes work," he started. "So does sneaking around," Lydia said. "Different kind." Clara tried to defend Richard. Every face tightened. Even Uncle Ray stepped back. Robert said gently, "Honey, stop talking." Margaret told her to get essentials and go. Packing was fast because Margaret took charge. 2 suitcases and a duffel. Clara tried to hug me. I stepped back. At the door, she whispered, "I'm sorry." "Apology accepted," I said. "Marriage revoked." They left. The house went quiet in a way I hadn't heard in months. That quiet felt like oxygen. 3 months later, news traveled back through the family web. Richard was fired. Hostile work environment. HR folder full of receipts gathered by his not-so-ex-wife. Escorts, boxes, the whole scene. Clara kept her job but lost the window, the title, the respect. They set her by the server room to update spreadsheets and refill paper. People started calling her 2 a.m. Clara. Office gossip never sleeps. She sent one text. "I'm in therapy now. I've learned from my mistakes." I said nothing. Silence was fluent and efficient. I rebuilt small things first. New sheets. New couch. A gym routine I kept. I cooked badly and improved. I watched the shows I liked. The house became mine again. Neighbors checked in. Paul invited me for burgers so he didn't forget how to be human. Over fries, he asked, "Any regrets?" "Only that I didn't set a boundary sooner," I said. Later, Margaret called. "You handled it with grace," she said. "I handled it with coffee and direct sentences," I replied. She laughed. "You deserved better. I'm sorry it took this to make it clear." When the divorce finalized, I slept like I used to before the late nights, before the lies. The bed was half as occupied and twice as restful. People ask how I moved on. I didn't move on. I moved up, from guessing to knowing, from hoping to acting, from noise to quiet. That 2 a.m. text wasn't the end of my marriage. It was the start of my peace. I still rehearse presentations sometimes. My boss still critiques. But when I come home, the air is honest. I pour coffee without bracing for an argument. I answer my phone without preparing for a story. The house is calm. I'm calm in it. If there's a lesson, it isn't complicated. Believe the typo. Believe the pattern. Protect your peace faster. And if you need to write one sentence at 2 a.m., make it clear enough that you can sleep afterward. No need to explain. Stay with your boss. You're single now. I pressed send. Then I started my life. Thanks for watching Palal's. Like and subscribe.